Yo, what's going on, everybody? What's happening? So today, let me get rid of this reference. We're doing critiques, doing some critiques today. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Hopefully everything's good. Just checking the chat over here. It's on my other screen. We got a few to look through. So, Sergio, what's happening? Got a lot of people here already. Lane, Comedy, Coral, Corina, Pamela, Vijaya, Hayek, Matthias. What's happening? Yeah, you got the cosmic Brandon today. You know what I'm saying? Out in the galaxy, swirling around. Nathan, what's going on? Yeah, so let's get. I mean, we got a lot of people here, so I guess let's get to the critiques. Let's get into this. What is this? What is over here? Got some light there. There we go. Okay, cool. So this is I think this is from this is from A Yami. So she also sent in another one as well. So these are from A Yami. She don't think she's here right now, but she may pop in later. Although I think she's in Australia, so I don't know what time it is over there. Probably the middle of the night, I think. So yeah, these are pretty good. I guess we'll just go through it. I don't have a timer or anything today, so we'll just ramble on for a few minutes about these, and yeah, should be fine. Glad to hear, Sergio. Glad to hear. Yeah, it's around 5 a.m. in Australia. Okay. Yeah. Lost a bit of focus. Okay. Don't know what that means, but okay. All right. So this one, I like the light going on here. I like very simple values. So it looks like we got about three values overall, maybe four. Looks like there's a fourth value in there. Maybe five. Let's see, we got the tone of the paper. We got the dark shading. Got the light, the white. And it looks like we have transition tone here, like reflected light. And then reflected light here as well. So reflected light in the dark and then kind of a mid-tone. So yeah, 3 to 4 values are pretty strong. I like that. I like the kind of unfinished look on some of it, on this side, because it's not really important. Yeah, I think the face is good. I think maybe there's a little bit of structure off here. Maybe the eye, if we zoom into this a little bit, maybe the eye structure of the eye and the eyebrow. Maybe, it's hard to tell because you never know what a person actually looks like. People aren't perfect, so yeah, you never know. Hello, love from Nepal. Do you know Nepal? Yes, I do know Nepal. I would love to go to Nepal and do some painting there, some plein air painting. So, yeah, I can't wait to go to Nepal. It'd be really cool. How's it going, Enrique? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. Hello, everyone. No worries, Ben. We can catch the next critique. Send in another one. I think okay, so Lane has a comment about this. She says, I think just changing it to sit on the page in a portrait style would help. Yeah, I mean, yeah, possibly. It's interesting the way she drew this. It's interesting that the rings are at the bottom. Normally that would be at the top. So it's interesting that she had like her arm drawing that with like her arm there. It's very interesting way to draw this. But you know, it looks like a smaller sketchbook. This looks like a small, like a like kind of like this size, like 5.5 by 8.5. So kind of like a half sheet of paper, half of an A4. Um, yeah, true. I could have people send in the reference, but yeah, she could be left-handed. I don't know. I have no idea. She didn't really say much about that, but you know, given the way these lines are going, yeah, she could be left or right-handed. I'm not sure. It could be left-handed going that way, kind of drawing like this. And having the light on that side, I mean, could be left-handed, but either way. Yeah, the only thing that just seems some of the facial features seem slightly off, but like I said, you never know. Some people could have some people do have very interesting features, you know. So uh, everything looks pretty correct. I mean, the tilt of the head. We look at the tilt of the head here. The eyes, the mouth, and the nose. They're all on the same tilt. If you guys can see my cursor, kind of going this diagonally down direction, you know. So and the ears as well. So they're all on this tilt, lined up. So to me, it looks pretty correct as far as, you know, facial structure and all this stuff. The hair looks like hair. I like that. Like I said, the value's pretty good. It's kind of subtle, you know. We don't have a lot of contrast, which is fine. It's not a big deal. Um, I think it works. I mean, I think I like that some of these edges get really lost. You know, like over here, she kind of didn't really worry about dark outlines or anything. I like that because you know we don't need that kind of those dark outlines to distract us. I think this is somewhat pretty realistic. You know, a little bit of highlight in the eyes and on the nose to give it some life, even on the tooth down here. You know, we got some highlighting there. Overall, I mean, really great. I think it's a really great portrait. You know, if we zoom this thing out, we can, you know, it really reads. Like I said, it seems like the eye, there's something a little off there, like it's a little too high and a little too far off. But like I said, without seeing the person, we don't really know. Let's go to the next one. This is also from A. Yami. I think this is pretty cool. You know, pen and ink, a lot of contrast here, a lot of dark and light, few midtones in there. I like the lines of the form going around here. Thanks for tuning in. It's your first time on the live stream. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. So Ben says, if we go back, Ben says the ears look a bit low. Normally they're lined up with the eyes. I thought about that as well, but something to think about is the tilt of the head. So we don't know how this guy's head's tilted. It could be tilted back just a little bit because we're seeing the bottom of the nose here. We're seeing the bottom of the nose and the nostrils. So if I tilt my head back a little bit, you can see my ears drop down. So the more I tilt my head back, your ears drop. So if his nose is in the middle of his ears, they're going to be a little bit lower than his eyes. So that's something you have to think about. If I tilt my head down, you see how my ears go above my eyes. So it's all the tilt of the head. And if we look at his nose, which kind of gives away the tilt here a bit, and also the chin, we can see that he's kind of tilted slightly up, I think, kind of like this. So that's something to think about. But good eye seeing that. Which pencils do you use for drawing? It doesn't really matter. I mean, as long as you get some good quality pencils, I use like these. I have a bunch of different, you know, like art pencils. These are sketch pencils or whatever. As long as you have like different values of them, you know, a 10B, a 6B, then you're gonna be fine. You know, I have a bunch of different packs of pencils. Just to get something good quality, you know. How to be good in art as I am just a beginner? Well, you just got to practice more. Practice patience, just as Sergio said, practice and patience. They said, sir, is it a zebra? I can't understand clearly. You know, I think this isn't a zebra. I can't remember what kind of animal she said it was. It's some interesting animal. Let me see if I can pull up the email here, if my computer will load quickly for once. Let me see. Got a yammy. There's some interesting animal. I can't remember the name. Give me 1 second here. Okapi. Okapi. I sent in my Okapi. So this is the animal. I'm going to type it in the chat here. This is the animal she said it is. I've probably very rarely heard of it. So maybe it's some kind of horse, zebra, kind of hybrid Australian animal, maybe. I have no idea. I'm sure there's somebody out there that knows or that will Google it. Yeah. So either way, it looks like this animal is much darker than a zebra. So, we have the body here much darker, it looks like, with some lighter areas. Overall, I think it's pretty good. I think the structure is really nice. I think it's tough without seeing the reference. I think maybe she went a little too dark in some of these areas. Just my personal preference, because if you go flat black like this, like that, I've seen and what I tend to notice, like if we look at this leg in particular, when you go straight black like that, if we zoom in here, it just flattens the leg, so we can see there's a little bit of shading on it right here, right? There's a little bit of like midtones, kind of like shading, and there's some shading back here in the light area, but on this leg, since it's just completely black, we're kind of missing, there's a little bit of shading here, but we're missing that kind of rounded form. Like I said, it's hard without seeing the reference. We don't really know if it did really look solid black like this. But yeah, I would just caution against going completely solid black if you can avoid it, just because it tends to flatten things. It's difficult, in these other areas, like on the neck in here, she has some lines of form. So even if it's solid black there, it's not a big deal because there's areas of light kind of showing the form. Same here with the belly. We're kind of getting this form line, so we kind of understand how it curves at the top. And we can even see some of her lines the way she shaded this. But when you get to this leg, it looks completely flat. But overall, I mean, not a bad piece, of course. The only other thing that really kind of bugs me a bit, if I could say it like that, is the grass down here. I feel like you could just add a little more grass, make it a little more dense, give it some shadowing or something. It would really bring this thing to life a little bit. I noticed that with some of my drawings, just adding a little bit more grass. I'll show you. I'll try to give you an example so we have a reference to go from. Oh, I sold that drawing. Ugh. I was thinking of the baby elephant I just drew recently, and I realized it's sold. So I don't have that one to show. Where's one with did some good grass? I'm trying to see. Well, here's a few in a row that have some grass. I'll try to show these real quick, just as an example. See what I'm talking about here. So see how we have a bit more grass and just a little bit of shadowing and stuff. It just looks a little bit more natural, and see these little dots I put everywhere. It just gives it a little more natural look to the overall environment. And it's just kind of my personal preference. I think it's nice to have the environment, some longer grasses, some, grass going in some crazy direction. I'll show you one more. I kind of do grass the same way every time, but, it just gives a little more environment. So if we go back to this one, see, it's kind of lacking that environment, the especially the bottom here with the legs. It just looks like it's almost like it's floating or something, like it's not sitting on something. I think if you just put like some shadowing grass on there, like I just showed, I think you got something really nice here that would really just bring it together a little more strongly. Um, yeah, so it's like a weird dog mixed with a zebra, I guess, something like that. Pretty interesting. Okay, let's go to the next one. We have things to get through here, so I don't want to spend too much time on all of them. So this one is from Trinity Brown. Looks like acrylic, looks like a, small canvas here, sheet of paper. And so I was trying to figure out what is this, right? Like I was I was a little confused trying to figure out, to be honest. Looks like we have a cool little snowflake over here. It's kind of cool seeing that. But let's focus on the painting here. So I was trying to figure out what this is, and I think I figured it out, and I like the idea. I like the idea. So it looks like we have spring. So we have some, it looks like we have some flowers down here, some spring tree, spring greenery, summer. So we have like very light, bright, blue sky, yellow foliage and stuff, green and yellow foliage, really bright colors. Maybe this is fall. So we have a yellow tree, and then this is winter. That's what I get from this by looking at this. I'm not 100% sure. They didn't say anything with their email or anything. So, um, yeah, it looks like nature studies. Wow, I wish I knew how to read Arabic. Um, I know some of it. I can pronounce some of it, but I don't. I can't understand it. Um, but I see it in the chat there. Very interesting. Ben, do you speak Arabic or are you translating it in Google? I'm just curious. Um, okay, so uh, yeah, so I think what do you guys think about this? Is this my name is Brandon Schaefer, so check it out. Uh, what do you guys think about this? Is this spring, summer, fall, and winter? Do you guys get that same vibe from this now that I said that? What do you guys think? Okay, Ben, you're using Google Translate. Okay. Um, So yeah, I think it's a cool idea. I get winter seems really nice. I feel like we just need some more. Um, I think these three are the best. I really love the colors in this one. I think the colors work really well. I think this one I understand the most of these two. That they're trees and you have greenery and things happening. Maybe there's an animal down here at the bottom. It's very abstract. This one is definitely a slice of some kind of tree. Uh, if this is supposed to be autumn, I'd focus more on these kinds of colors, bring them in. I think a lot of these pieces just need more clarity, more color. Um, but I think it's a good start. I think you could paint on top of these and try to push it a little bit more. Um, yeah, Arabic would definitely be a cool language to learn. I definitely would be very interesting. I know a few things, but yeah, it could be different locations with variations. I'm not. I think it's the seasons for sure. Um, but that's my interpretation. I think it just needs more clarity of what's going on in these. Like I said, these last two, it really seems to be like greenery for me. And this second one, some kind of greenery going on here with the blue sky. And this looks like flowers. So, I got the idea. I think you just need to really hone it in more, put some stronger color for some of the flowers. Uh, just bring it together a bit more. Just kind of try to push it, just try to push it. But it's a great start, definitely a great start. So keep at it. Definitely keep going. So this one from Predbrook, they didn't really give their name or anything. So this is animal portrait. Looks like I'm gonna guess it's acrylic. Acrylic usually gives this kind of, you can see the texture of the canvas here, and it has this kind of dry look a lot of times. So I'm gonna guess this is acrylic, or they probably said it in the email. I can't remember. I apologize. But so this is really cool. I like this. Really great portrait. Um, I'm just taking my time looking at this. Oh, Pamela Brooks, what's going on? Okay, I didn't realize. Okay, that makes sense now. I see the connection. All right, glad. I don't want to put people's name out there if they didn't give me a name. Some people don't. Some people want to be anonymous, so I try to respect that. So okay, this is from Pamela Brooks. Yeah. So she said it is acrylic. I think it's really cool, really good. Um, so I'm just trying to look at. I'm just trying to take it in. It's something I always say most of the time with acrylics. And it's always a problem I see people using acrylics. It's something very difficult to do. Um, but something I would push here with this painting are the edges, and edges are pretty advanced thing. And you do have a variety of edges in here. I'm not going to say that you don't. You definitely do, and looks really good. We have some softness here. There's softness up here. I see softness down here. Around the nose is pretty soft. We have these transitions around the eyes and the nose. I really love that. Um, I think just pushing the edges even more. Um, I think pushing the edges even more. And I think at this point in the portrait, like the stage you're at now, which is basically finished to you, right? Um, yeah, the mouth is really great. I really love the mouth, actually. Sergi says that's his favorite part of the piece. For some reason, it seems very natural and consistent with the piece. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think the mouth is really great. I think maybe some kind of transition on the bottom of the teeth there as they're going into the dark mouth, just like a slight softened edge there, just to show a transition. Otherwise, they kind of look like they're floating a little bit. And maybe you do have some kind of transition there, but I think just softening the edge. Like I said, I think this, I mean, really great work. I think it just needs few small, tiny things to push it over the edge, to really try. And the great thing about acrylic is you can always paint over it, right? You can always correct like something. So what I was going to say earlier is now when you're at this stage in the portrait where you think it's finished, I think it's wise to put your reference photo aside, don't look at it anymore, and focus on what does this painting need? What is this painting like what is it asking for? And I feel for me when I look at this, I think the eyes are really lovely too. Now that I'm looking at if you just look at the eyes, really lovely the way you have them here. I mean, really well done. I love the little subtle highlights and stuff. I was almost going to say maybe a stronger highlight just in one of the eyes. Maybe on the left eye, like this eye right here. Maybe just a stronger highlight, like right there or something. But it's probably not even necessary, but it's something to play around with. Maybe you could try it. What really I think um, I think what really what am I trying to say? I think the only thing that needs not like it needs work, but like something that would help bring more clarity to this piece is the nose. And what I mean by that is I feel like we need some kind of highlighting on the nose, like the top rim edge of the nose. I wish I had a painting or a portrait of a dog so I could show you, but I've drawn portraits of dogs and I painted portraits, and all of them were commissioned, so I don't have them to show. I have photos of them, but they're on my hard drive somewhere not on my computer. But I think right at the top of the nose above the nostrils, if we had some kind of highlighting there to show the different planes of the nose, because right now it's a little lost. It looks almost a little bit flat, at least in the photo. And I think if you added that on there, I think it would bring a little more clarity to the overall face and the structure of the snout and everything. Um, and that's why I mentioned moving away from the reference photo, because that may not be in the reference photo, but just imagine there's some light off to the side, and not a direct light, but maybe some light bouncing off some wall outside and lighting up, this side of the nose, a highlight in this eye, and then highlighting like little highlights on this side of the mouth, and maybe like highlighting this handkerchief or something. Not necessary, but if you had some kind of secondary light, very faint light source lighting up and casting highlights over here and then across the nose. Very subtle things, just kind of like you added in the eye here, just something very subtle, like a mid-tone gray or something, like I said, just reflected light, not something that's a very direct light. Um, so yeah, other than that, I mean, I think it's great. I think maybe softening some more edges and stuff, like just pushing the softness and the sharpness of edges, like try to think of where is your focus for this piece. And of course, the focus is on the face, right? But probably you want the focus to be up here first, the first focus. The secondary focus for me is the mouth and the handkerchief, right? Um, but what really stands out to me right now is this mouth, because we have the sharp edges there and we have the contrast there. So um, that's why I said kind of maybe soften some of those edges, like put a secondary, like some kind of transition tone between the bottom of the teeth and the mouth. Kind of, and sometimes animals' teeth, they get a little darker towards the bottom, towards the gums. Um, you know, but it looks really good, really natural. I think it's great work. It's just so small, pushing those things to the next level, just adding some kind of secondary light source to just kind of push the lighting here. I think the background's fine. I think it works. It's not too distracting or anything. Um, there's nothing that's really distracting at all. But those teeth really draw my attention. My attention keeps moving from the face up here down to these teeth. So something to think about. But thanks for sending that in, Pamela. Appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. Maybe a bit more. Nathan says maybe a bit more shadow under the nostrils. Yep, I agree. Just more structure for the nose, more light and shadowing to kind of fit the rest. Oh, we got people tuning in from Nepal today, so it's really cool. Glad you guys are able to make it. Lane says she uses acrylics. Get a cheap brush and rough it up. It will help you create a fur texture in your paint. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Like a soft kind of, you don't even have to do that. It's just controlling the edges, But yeah, having a different kind of brush, it's definitely a good experiment to try for sure. Okay, this is from Nathan. This is from Nathan, of course. This is watercolor. So let's zoom in on this, because these are big paintings too, I think. What was the size of them again, Nathan? Let me check real quick. Let me see if I can check. I know it was like 24 by 36 or something like that. 26 by 34. I can't remember exactly. Let me see. 26 and a half by 34 inches. So these are pretty big paintings. Uh, yeah. These are pretty big watercolors. That's crazy, man. You have the patience of a I don't know what, man. Of a sorry, folks. You have like the patience of like a preschool teacher or something, you know? Like like dealing with kids and stuff, man. I really love the feathers here. Look at that. That's wild, man. That looks really realistic. Let's go up to the eye. Look at that. That's pretty cool. It's really cool. I love the softness and stuff you're getting here, the lighting effects and the background. How you kept all those sharp edges and stuff. Did you use like masking fluid? That's got to be masking fluid, right? Yeah, you got the patience of a monk, man. Like, you know, it doesn't even look like masking fluid, but it's got to be, right? To keep those kind of like masking. Okay, yeah. So that's really cool. You know me, normally I'd say like those edges are too sharp and you should soften them, but you have a variety of edges back there, so it's kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, it's just a really colorful piece. I mean, even the branch, like if you look at the branch here, you got like greens reflected in it, which is great, which is perfect because you have all this green, it's surrounded by all this greenery. So you're going to want to have like greens within it. You got nice reds and browns and then some light on it. Is this like a dappled light scenario? Is that what's going on here? That's really cool. I love the red of the bird and yeah. I love how everything fits. It all fits together. You know, there's nothing that it doesn't look cut out. It doesn't look nothing looks like it's standing out too much or that it doesn't belong. This branch looks really natural, even though you got these sharp edges against the light there. It looks really natural, and it works because like the focus is way up here with all these colors. You know, the red, yellow, and the blue, and the greens and stuff. And I love the composition. How I like the feathers and stuff flow around. Even the design of the I'm trying to point on the screen like you guys can see what I'm talking about. Oh, even the design of the light back here, the way it kind of flow. I have this. I see this line of lights right here, kind of swooping around the parrot. I mean, it's really cool. I like how even the background is directing my eye in a certain way. You know, I feel like I don't know if you intended that. Did you plan all this in the background and everything? It's pretty crazy. I like how the light swoops down to these feathers, and then this grouping of lights here brings me to this middle bunch of lights, and then the branch flows me up, back up to the parrot. You know, you have like this circular kind of thing happening. At least that's how I kind of see it. And you have these interesting ones over here too, kind of like going in a circle and going around the parrot's head and stuff. You know, at first glance, it looks really chaotic, right? Like there's just a lot going on here. You know, if we zoom this thing out, you know, there's a lot going on. But that's the kind of work you do, you know, it's very like photographic. But even when you zoom in and you see it, you see that it's just watercolor. You know, even this kind of like photographic artwork, it's still very abstract, right? I mean, when we zoom in and look at this, you know, it's still very abstract what's going on here. So, yeah, so Nathan, how many, like for this background, roughly how many layers does it take to get, and like to get stuff this vibrant and this, like how many layers are we talking for this? Yeah, this is Nathan's watercolor. Okay, so you did plan out the whole background. That's pretty wild, man. That's really good. That's some crazy amount of planning and chaos back there. Planning of chaos. That's really crazy. So, like, how many layers is like the background? Is like 3, 2, 17, 20? I wonder, you know, it is a bit impressionistic, but I mean, I mean, when you look at this, if you compare this to my recent watercolor that I just did, this is not impressionistic. The thing I did is impressionistic. This is a lot more photographic, I would feel. Now it's not like super detailed, a crazy photographic, but you got to imagine the size of this painting too. But it is impressionistic in a way. But just the detail in all this stuff, the different kinds of colors and changes and all kinds of stuff. It's impressionist. It's like impressionistic photonistic. It's interesting. So about 10 glazes in the background. Crazy. All right, let's go to the next one because we got more to talk about here. So this is another one from Nathan, the second one he sent in. Figured we could take a look at both of them. It's pretty cool to see. Pretty wild, man. You love the softness you're getting here. Look at that. Really contrasts against this dark, sharp foreground. Really love that. I love the colors here. Color scheme's great. I think yeah, it's really cool. Really cool, man. I love the eye. And I love these white lines you put on there. Is that opaque? It looks like opaque paint, huh? So you didn't mask this. This isn't masking. This is opaque paint on top, right? Because it looks like you have a very faint line there. Like maybe, yeah, it looks like opaque paint. Okay. That's cool, man. I like that. This looks like you preserved it. That looks preserved, but this line and these look like opaque paint. But the eye, it looks like you preserved that. You're able to preserve that somehow. That's crazy. But yeah, this is a big painting too, right? So I got to imagine that. So this is a bigger, that eye is like this big or something, like it's pretty big. So mm. This one's the same size, 26 by. Really? That's the white of the paper? For real? Wow. Okay, so you did mask it. That looks like opaque paint to me. But wow, okay, I see it now. I see it now. Wow. Really well done, man. So some of these you washed, so you masked it and then you took it off and then you washed over it. But some of these you kept. Yeah, that's crazy. That's really crazy. See, man, I couldn't do this kind of work and take like so many hours because if I screwed up after about 15 hours, I'd be so depressed, dude. I couldn't do it. I'd be like, oh man, I just ruined this thing I spent 15 hours on and it's so big. And what am I going to do with this thing now? But if I only invest like 1 or 2 hours into something and then I screw it up, it's like, big deal. I'll just paint another one. But I really love the colors in this thing. Yeah, I mean, it's not really a critique. I don't really know what to critique about it. I mean, it's like I think everything's done really well. I love the flow of the water and around the mouth and stuff, and the softness and all the crazy little swirls and stuff back here, the wet into wet swirls and stuff. Yeah, I think it's cool, man. I really love it. And there's you got a little stamp signature, huh? Oh, let's go back. You got a little stamp signature. See if I can get that on the screen. I don't think I can. Let me try to move me. Ah, we can't see it. Right there. You guys see at the bottom corner there? Little stamp signature. Can I zoom in more? Ah, I can't zoom in anymore. That's cool. Very cool. Put me back. Okay, there we go. I guess if I zoom out, you can see it, huh? But it's still very small. Right there. Anyway, let's go to the next one. Thanks for sending those in, man. It's really cool to see what you're working on, and really great work. Really inspiring work for sure. Koitasami, what's happening, man? You must be up early. Or is it late at your place? Do you ever sleep, bro? No worries, Tomater. No worries for bad English. So Nathan does the backgrounds first. This one's from Enrique. Hopefully he's still around. He was in here earlier. Um, so this one, he said he's trying to learn watercolors. So he's kind of new. Okay, it's only 11 p.m. Okay, all right. 11 p.m. over in the Mid East. All right. Cool, cool. Not up too late. Hopefully you don't have to get up early, go to work. Better get to sleep soon, man. Get some rest. But yeah, so this one's from Enrique, and he said he's trying to learn watercolors. So this is one I painted on, I think I painted this on a stream many months ago. So he kind of was mimicking it a bit, I guess, trying to learn, learn my chaotic way of painting. But I think it came out really well. I think it came out really well. It's kind of like an interior looking outward. I'm trying to see here. If I look at this thing thumbnail, yeah, I mean, really, really strong image. I wish I could show the version of mine of this. I think I sold this one too. I was gonna go in my room and get it and see, because see the difference here, but I think I sold mine. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so this is Enrique's second watercolor in his entire life. So this is really great work, man, for your second watercolor. For real. I mean, that's really great. The amount of the texture you have, the softness in some areas, the sharpness down here, the complexity of the image. I mean, this is a difficult one to do for your second try, you know. So, hats off to you, man, for sure. That's really great. Really great work. Um, Cubs win. How's it going? Thanks for tuning in. Sounds good, Koitasami. All right, so you got working 12 hours. Not too bad. Not too bad. Oh. So I think after these critiques, we'll just do a little bit of Q&A if you guys have any questions about things, just hang out a little bit. The bottoms of the door. So Ben says the bottoms of the doorway don't line up, but that's the biggest thing I see. It's amazing for second watercolor. Well, you know what? If I remember this reference correctly, in the reference, they didn't line up. So, wow, so Nathan's been painting watercolor for 21 years. So if you guys see the work from the previous one, let's go back. So he's been doing this kind of stuff. I don't know if this kind of painting, but he's been doing watercolor for 21 years. Pretty crazy. And this is someone's second watercolor. So not bad, not bad. And this is a much smaller painting than the previous ones. The only other thing that bothers me about this one, I love the gradation of the sky. You did that really well. Really great wash. I love the grayness back here, the contrast against the strong yellow browns of this interior. The only thing that kind of bothers me, this green seems a little bit raw. What I mean by that is, Yeah, I think the blue sky looks really well, actually. I think it's a great addition. I think it's something I didn't have in my painting. I think the sky was a bit gray, and it probably could have enhanced it being a blue sky. Now that I see this, that blue really contrasts against the orangeness of everything. So I think that's a great decision that was made, that your granddaughter suggested. I think it's really great. Um, I think the green is a little bit raw. It looks like Viridian, like straight from the tube, kind of. I feel like it needs, down here it looks a little bit better. It looks like we're getting like some other mixture in there, some other browns and stuff, like reds into the green. But this looks just a little too cool, just a little too strong of a cool green, if that makes sense. It's just a little too raw of a color. Part of me doesn't mind it because I like the contrast it gives, but I would just slightly tone it down, um, slightly gray some of it down. But other than that, if that's the only thing that really bothers me, I think you're doing pretty well, man. Keep up the great work. Definitely want to see more watercolors from you. Um, yeah, Viridian is something you can use it on its own. It's just it's an interesting color. You got to be careful with it. Yeah, add some muted, like Lane said, add some muted tones to give it a little bit more depth. You got some, there is some muted tones in here. We see right here and here. There's big washes of muted tones in there. I think just maybe glazing over that green a little bit, and be careful. You put it kind of in a line like that, so just kind of be careful about that. You want to kind of stagger them up and down a bit, make it a little interesting. So just be careful of your placement there as well. Um, Patio 87, they said they hate Viridian. Geez, what did Viridian ever do to you? I'm just kidding. No, I understand, some people just don't like that color, but or a color like that, But yep, definitely a constant learning process, that's for sure. So, yeah, great work, Enrique. Keep up the great work, man. Love to see more watercolors from you. Keep on keeping on. These are just small changes, like I said, just very small stuff, but you know, something you can experiment around with too in the future. Inside of this interior, add some. There's so much brown and orange in here. Try to add like, since you have like orange and green, you can add like some purple into it, and it would be like a secondary type of color scheme, right? Like orange, green, purple. So you can add like some kind of purple reflected lights in here, kind of give it some more color variation and stuff. Something to play around with. Something you could try. You could even add some of that purple into the background as well to give more depth and distance. So just really small glazes. I'm not talking to like crazy purple. I'm talking like a muted grayish kind of purple. But you can play around with it, make it strong. Um, it's just an idea, something to play around with. Think of these color schemes and stuff that you can enhance the paintings a bit, make them a bit more vibrant, and just kind of paint how. Imagine the colors you would like to see in it. Something like that. So anyway, keep on with it, man. Keep going. I like seeing the variety of like Nathan's been doing this for like 21 years. I've been doing watercolor. Technically, I started watercolor in 2010, but I only did it for like 1 year back then, not even 1 year. And then I went to acrylics for a while. And I started watercolor back in 2018, I think, is when I started doing like plein air watercolor. So I've only been doing it for like 3 years now, almost. And then Enrique, that was his second watercolor. So we're seeing like a big different levels of people's skills and ability and the amount of time they put into things. It's really interesting. It's cool to see. So this is from Candy Williams. Candy Williams. This is a little sketch of a grizzly bear. Some of you guys may notice this bear. It's a bear I've drawn on my channel before. I recently, last week, I put out a drawing video little tutorial of drawing the bear in pen and ink. So she got inspired from that and drew this little, or they got inspired. I don't know if they're woman or man. It doesn't really matter. But they got inspired from that video and just wanted to do a little pencil sketch of this. And I think it's really cool. I really love the texture. I think you got the texture really well of this grizzly bear. It's really cool. I really love the shagginess, the lines of everything. Um, I think simplifying some of it, some of the shadows, I think like making this simplified under here and then under the legs, like just making it all a bit just more simplified, less variation of shadowing, because there's already a lot of variation in the light. So I think if you make the shadows just stronger, more simple, um, let the variation, all this variation and texture and stuff be in the light areas. Sorry, folks. Just had to get some water there. Haven't actually eaten anything today. That was the first drink of anything I've had today. So, it's already 1 o'clock here almost in the afternoon. Um, so yeah, I think just simplifying the shadows here, that's the biggest thing, and just let the texture and the variation be in the light areas. I really love the head of the bear. I love the eye and the nose and the mouth and the ears and stuff. Really brought it to life. I really loved all the variation, the texture, everything. It's a really great sketch. Really great work. Um, I don't really have much more to say about it. Maybe adding more of the rocks and stuff down here that he's kind of climbing over, just giving a little bit more of environment that he's standing on, so that it just puts him in some kind of environment a little bit more. Maybe give him a shadow underneath. That always really helps. I find once you put like a shadow underneath, it really grounds the subject and the environment on something. Um, yeah, that's a good point. Koitasami, he says, I was given a tip before to help. When your color is warm, do a cool shadow and vice versa. That's a pretty good rule to stick by most of the time. For sure. Yeah, Candy, no problem. Thanks for sending this one in. I think just, don't worry about starting pen and ink. Like, just do it. Just go for it. There's nothing to lose. If you hate it and you don't like it, then you discover that you don't like it. And if you end up liking it, then that's great. I was afraid of pen and ink uh, forever, and I decided to just start it. I'm just gonna do it. And my first few drawings with pen and ink sucked. They were terrible. I could show them real quick. They were bad. They weren't that good. And let me see if I can find the sketchbook. I think it's right here. They weren't really that good. I'll show you. So imagine this is a bear that I recently drew. I mean, you guys have seen some of my pen and ink. It's pretty good. Not bad. Um, Pretty strong. But if we look at some of my earlier, when I first started pen and ink, this was like early 2020. So you guys can see here, just drop some paper. So I was doing graphite, right, with animals, drawing a bunch of animals, doing graphite and white charcoal. And then I decided, you know what, like I wanted some stronger, see we got some more animals and stuff. And I realized I wanted stronger contrast, and I wanted to not have to worry about things smudging in my sketchbook. So this was, I started playing around with pen and ink. See here? Started playing around, just testing everything, testing the different white pens and stuff that I had. And, drawing a buffalo here. And then on the next page, after I tested some things and seeing, I started, so this one in particular, I have ink, and then I overlaid some gray markers and I was seeing the different kinds of values I could get. and different methods of shading and stuff. And imagine from doing that, this was one of my first pen and ink drawings. Now, you guys may see this and be like, oh yeah, that's okay, that's not bad. To me, it's not that good. Just not that good. It's not the look I was going for. Too much shadowing. I didn't let any of the tone of the paper come through at all. You know, only a little bit here. It's just too complex, too much light. You know, it's just not. Yeah, have a good one, Enrique. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. So, you know, this is where I started out, and I was like, eh. And I think I filmed this one too. I may have a video of it still. I never really put it out because I didn't like it, right? So, um, yeah. Um, and then the next one I did was this bear. I think I filmed this one too, and I don't know if I put this one out either because I just didn't like it. You know, I used like a thicker marker and a variety of pens, and yeah, it's not bad, but I put like too much light on the whole bear, too much light. But, you know, looking back on it, it's not bad. It's just too much. It's just not what I was going for, you know? And then I just stuck with it. And then I did this one. I evolved. And now this was one I was really happy with. And I'm sure maybe some of you have seen this on my channel. But if we look at this one, so remember this, right? This little grouse, it's an Alaskan grouse or something, you know, a little chicken, whatever. We go back. I already have the idea drawn out. See there? It's a spruce grouse. So that was my initial idea, and in graphite. So that's what I tried with the pen and ink, and you can see the contrast. I really love the contrast is more, it's stronger. And my drawings started to evolve. And this one's very detailed, you know, compared to what I do now. You know, look at all this little detail and stuff I did. You know, I was putting all these little highlights, all these little things, and it's not bad. I like it actually. It's really nice. You know, sometimes I look back at these pen and inks to kind of inspire myself for my work now. But they're not always good. You know, here's a bunny rabbit I did that, yeah, it's not that great. This was the next one I did. So there's times where I get like discouraged. You know, really good elephant I did. Um, this one's not that good. You know, I was playing around with different kinds of ways to crosshatch and stuff, and I just didn't like the effect. So my point is like what I'm trying to say by showing all this is like, and then look, the next drawing I did, one of my favorite drawings I've ever done. This is one of my favorite I've ever done. You know, the vertical lines, the way I shaded everything, the texture, the simplicity of the grass, the way that everything kind of flows, the simplicity of it. So there's going to be drawings you do, you're going to grow, you're going to learn, you're going to like do more things. And then now if we go to just the other day, one of the last drawing in this sketchbook, we can see like I'm incorporating this interesting background color and stuff into it now, trying new things, experimenting. And I feel like I've only just begun, you know, with trying this kind of stuff out. And, you know, and then Ben in the stream, we got Ben G here. He pushed me to try doing watercolor on this kind of paper. So now I'm going to be able to do these kinds of backgrounds on the pen and ink. So like, you know, if we go back to the critique now, back to the critique session after my ramble there, you know, Candy said that they're afraid of and there's many other people out there, they're afraid of doing like pen and ink because they're afraid of the permanency of it. They're afraid of messing up and all this stuff. And I understand it. I felt the same way. And you guys see like where I started, it wasn't that great. And I've had drawings along the way that really suck and I don't like. But it's all part of the process. It's all part of the learning process. I hope that was somewhat inspiring and just shows you like you're going to grow and evolve. And even with your drawings, you're going to evolve. And then with everything you do, it's going to evolve and change. You're going to get better. So just jump into it, man. Just jump into it and try doing the same bear. Just do it in pen and ink. And don't worry about my video. Don't have to copy my video. Like, you've already drawn this bear once. Draw it again. Draw it in the pencil again. Like, do a quick pencil sketch and then try pen and ink over it and see what happens. When I was a kid, I have drawings from when I was a kid. I drew Winnie the Pooh like over and over and over, the same thing, same exact drawing, just many times. So nothing wrong with trying that. So let's see if we have any more. Do we have any more? Is this the last one? Is it? Is this the last one? Oh, that was the last one, folks. So we'll take a quick look through all these again. So got that one, got this one, got this one. Some interesting, diverse work, Everybody has a different style, different amount of time they've been painting and doing things. Everyone's at different skill levels, different interests. Yeah, it's interesting. It's cool to see. It's cool to see. Thanks everybody for sending these in. Thanks for tuning in. So I'm gonna go back to the webcam, go back to me, and gonna move things around here a bit, folks, just so where did my window go? Oh, here we go. Okay, that's good. Bring this over here. Okay. Now I can chat with you guys. Why is my eye so itchy? Oh my gosh. Sorry, folks. Got like dust in my apartment. Ah. Oh, man. Well, that was a good critique session, I think. What do you guys think? It's pretty good. All right, let's see. So my name is Brandon Schaefer. What's happening, folks? Thanks for tuning in. Seems like we got some new people. Oh, so yeah, one quick thing, I guess, before everybody goes, don't leave yet, because we're not done. If you want to send in a critique, so my next critique will be episode 150. Right now, this one is 140, episode 140. And so, yeah, send one piece to critique, info@shaperfineart.com, and we'll critique it next time. So there you go, folks. Yeah, exactly, Matthias. It's the spring chasing me for sure. Yeah, I hope that was helpful. I hope that was valuable. I hope I gave some good. Hopefully, people in the chat here too gave some interesting pointers for you guys to improve your work. It's always good when we have like community helping each other. Improve and see what's going on. So Real Era asks, so is repetition the best practice? It's not. It's not even repetition that's the best practice. It's just doing it more. And I think I think repetition is part of it, right? And as Kuwait Asami said, not mindless repetition. Learn from your mistake and basically don't do that mistake again. Improve yourself. So, are we going to get more streams at this time? Yeah, possibly. I might start streaming on the weekend around this time, like noon my time, which I think is like 11 p.m. your time. So maybe 11 a.m. my time, noon. I might start doing streams at this time because you know, during the week, I can only do them in the evening, unfortunately. And on the weekend, I like doing them. I'll do them more in the morning like this so that we get different people from different, you know, people that are asleep normally at the other time. But Nathan got 2 today. Yeah, so did A Yami. You know, we didn't have a lot today, so I wanted to do 2 for some people, you know. If I can go through them quickly, then it's not a big deal. But so Sergio asks, okay, so go back to the repetition thing real quick before I go to another question. Uh, Repetition, but also just drawing different kinds of subjects, like because you get used to different things, you know. It's good to be good at really one thing, you know, and focus on that. Uh, but it's also good to expand a little bit, trying different things like draw portraits and draw animals, draw buildings, and because then you get an idea of what not only what you like to do and what you don't like to do, but it gives your hand-eye coordination more, just a little more things to focus on, different kinds of measurements, different kinds of lines, and you just get more practice that way, you know. So yeah, for everybody, yeah, definitely send in your art next time. We'll probably do another critique, like, you know, next few live streams, next 10. They go by pretty quickly. So, you know, I do live streams a few times a week. So probably in like 2 weeks we'll do another critique or something like that. Maybe 1 week, 1 or 2 weeks, if I can get through more live streams. Um, how do I get my art critique? Well, I'll show it one more time. Just send an email to info@schaeferfineart.com and attach an image of your art. And just let me know in the subject line that it's for critique number 150. Let me know that it's for the critique. Yeah, I'm not sure if you did, Sergio. I don't know if you sent me a drawing a while back. You might have, but I kind of just started fresh this time, so just resend it or send a new one. Okay, I know you had a question. I said, Sergio asks, so I started doing watercolors. What would be your most basic advice for someone in my position? I love having the absolute control of my medium. Well, if you're just starting watercolor, I mean, it's just like anything else, right? Learn the basics, learn basic how to do washes, how to layer stuff, really just play around with um, really just play around with all the basic fundamental things. Different layers of colors, you know, layer a dark color on a light color, layer a light color on a dark color, like really just try to understand the nuances of everything. Play around with wetting the paper first with water and then putting color into it. And then do the same thing, but keep the paper dry and then paint on top of it. You know, practice like do a wash of color, let it dry for like only like 1 minute, and then try to paint into it. See what happens. Next time, let it dry completely and then paint on top of it. See the different kinds of scenarios that pop up for watercolor, because watercolor is all based on time, it's based on dampness and wetness of the paper or how dry it is and how long it's been wet, how dry it is. So time is a factor. The wetness and dryness of the paper is a factor. What else is a factor? The layering is a factor. How much pigment you put into it. So try to do really light washes and then do washes where you put more and more pigment, just less water and more pigment. So I suggest just playing around with all that kind of stuff. Really try to understand that stuff. And, you know, really the only way to understand that stuff completely is to, you should know this by now, with the kind of work you do, is to just jump into it. But I would recommend doing smaller pieces first, you know, because doing something large, it's going to be hard to control, and you don't want to yeah, you don't want to jump into something that's too ambitious and then you get discouraged with it and give up. So just start out with smaller stuff, man. And I see you just said here, so the fact that I kick jump my way into watercolor with a 50 by 70 centimeter piece might have not been the greatest idea. Yeah, I don't think so. I think you should do like a quarter of that, maybe a half, maybe, but probably like a quarter of that size. That's true too, Nathan. Nathan says it's a medium that I found you have to plan a bit before you start. Definitely. Definitely have to plan. Definitely try to plan in your mind like, okay, I'm gonna do a big wash of everything, do all the lights. The next layer, I'll let that dry. The next layer I'll do like midtones and then shadows and then the darkest darks. So yeah, you gotta have a bit of planning into it. Okay, I'm gonna not paint this area, keep it the light of the paper, the white of the paper, you know, so it does take a lot of planning as well. Planning is definitely important. Ubs Win says, I think letting watercolor do its thing is one of my challenges. Yeah, that's true too. You know, everybody that's another part is like trying to control it when sometimes it's good to just let it bleed and do its thing, you know? Like just let it do its thing. I'll show you guys one example of that really quickly here. I got it. Where is it? Where did I put it? I think it's in the other room real quick. It's one of my recent pieces. I'll show you guys. If you have any other questions, let me know. So Real Era asks, how do you let go of perfectionism? Let me think about that for 10 seconds and I'll be right back. Okay, so this piece here, this is one of my recent pieces I did that I really like. So when we look at this dome, see how that all kind of blended out, it kind of bled out, so to speak, that green color into the tan. That's me letting the watercolor do its thing. That's what that was. And this dome actually it had a strong line across it there. This dome was like imagine architectural dome. It's like it has a strong sharp line where the dome and the building meet. So it was a harsh line and I decided to just let it just do its thing. Just bleed out like that. Um and even these little brown bits into the green. See how they kind of just I just let them bleed. So sometimes that kind of stuff can be really beautiful, you know. And for me, that's what really makes this piece what it is. It really gives it a sense of atmosphere. For me, it's really interesting. So, how do you let go of? How does one let go of perfectionism? Well, you have to realize and see, that's the funny thing. This is the funny thing I've learned about art over the years by having this YouTube channel and talking with other people out there and seeing the struggles that the art that artists as art, the struggles that we go through as artists. Most of the time, a large portion of the time, percentage of the time, are can we send anime art too? Yes, sure. You can send anything. I'll critique anything. Definitely. No, they don't have to be just realistic paintings. I'll critique anything. Just send whatever kind of art you do. I think it'd be cool to look at everything. So, so back to the perfectionism question. Most struggles as artists that we go through, it's mental. It's in our head. It's not even like the physical art. Like, oh, I can't get things to like sharp edges and soft edges. Like, that's a small part of it, right? Like, that's usually a small part of it. Most of the time, it's like, I don't have the patience. I don't, most people, it's like, I don't have the patience. I'm too much of a perfectionist. I can't let go of wanting it to look perfect. I always mess with it. Um, I give up. I feel like I'm not good enough. Like all this stuff is mental. It's all in your head. It's all emotional. Because as artists, usually we're very emotional beings, right? We're very empathetic. We're emotional. We go on feeling. Um, but letting go of perfectionism, you have to realize that nothing will ever be perfect. Glad to see you, Amanda. Thanks for tuning in. Hope everything's going well. Have a good Sunday. Enjoy yourself. Don't worry about it. Thanks for popping in. Sergio, that's a great quote. I am going to steal that from you. He says the opposite of perfectionism is acceptance. Dude, I'm going to steal that. That is beautiful. That's perfect. That's exactly right. You have to accept the fact. That's exactly what I was just saying. I just didn't realize it's acceptance. You have to accept the fact that nothing will ever be perfect, and nothing in this world is perfect. Like when I look at this painting, it's not perfect, right? I mean, there's probably many things that bug you, right? Like this little part over, like this part here bugged me. This thing over here bugged me. This area bugged me. Like none of this is perfect. Like this piece is not perfect. But what I found is that I focused on my focal point right here, the dome and these buildings. That's that's all I wanted to say. That's what I wanted to get across in this painting. And once I feel like I got this stuff in there, this stuff doesn't really matter. This stuff over here, this stuff down here. I mean, it matters a little bit, but it doesn't need to be perfect, right? Because it's just a supporting element. But that's the thing. It's you have to accept that you're not perfect. And you have to understand that the art you create, even if you create a bad piece of art, it doesn't define you as an artist. It doesn't define you as a person. We all make crappy stuff. We all do crappy things. We all make mistakes. We're all imperfect. So you kind of have to just empty the recycle bin in your brain. You know what I mean? And tell yourself that you're amazing. You're good enough. You're awesome. And that's it. No matter what happens, no matter what you do, and just accept the reality that you're not in control of everything, and there's nothing you can do that's ever going to be perfect. This live stream that I'm creating, the way that I'm answering your question isn't perfect. There's nothing perfect about anything. So that's probably not a good idea, Sergio. I don't recommend drinking more. That's funny. That's a good point. Nathan has a very good point. He says, "I found that I just have to stop looking. You'll always find something you could have done better." Well said, man. Exactly. I was just pointing that out basically with this painting. Like there's so many little things I could fix and like do better and all this. Like, oh, I could fix this and do this and here this here and then. Like, oh, I could sharpen this line and make it perfect and everything, but it's not meant to be perfect. It's not about being perfect. We don't like people because they're perfect. Like imagine, like think of the most interesting stories out there, right? Think of the most interesting stories of people that we know in the world. What's going on, Mary? Thanks for tuning in. I'm sorry you didn't know I was doing this today, but that's okay. We always got something next time. Don't worry. There's always another one. You could send me one for the next episode 150. But think of the most interesting stories. It's people that struggle. It's people that have challenges and that overcome them. It's people that are imperfect. It's people that suck at things and they become good at it. It's not that they become perfect at it. It's that they accept who they are. They accept these challenges. They accept that they're struggling, that they're going through this struggle. You know, I'm struggling a lot lately, to be honest. I'm going through something really challenging in my life right now, and it sucks. You know, I've been struggling for the whole time I've been on this YouTube channel. You know, I've wanted so much for my art to be my main job. It's always a struggle in my life. You know, I wish my YouTube thing could make more money. I wish my paintings would sell more. My drawings would sell more. I wish I could uh, sell more lesson videos and courses and things and help people more and give more value. I wish my videos could be have more views and be more valuable to people. You know, I put a lot of work into everything. It's a struggle, man. I was last night I was feeling, to be honest, I was feeling so depressed, man. It's just like, man, I mean, like it just felt like there's times recently where I just want to quit my day job and just move to another state. Like get out of this apartment. My apartment is ridiculously expensive because I live in California. And if I were to just move to another state, it'd be like 2 to 3 times cheaper. You know, and I was just like, man, I could just quit my job and go over there and do that and be free and try to focus on my art stuff. You know, and it's this battle I have in my mind. It's a struggle. It sucks. But anyway, you know, it's the thing, man. We're not all perfect. We all try. We do our best, and you know, that's what it comes down to, man. You just got to get that perfectionism out of your head. And I dealt with the same thing. You know, like my art years ago, I used to paint very tightly and draw very tightly, very detailed. And it's taken me a long time to get to a stage to paint like this. In the beginning, I had to really force myself to paint loosely. Um, it wasn't something that came natural to me. It was something I wanted to come natural, but it's something I had to like work at it. And and it's something I still struggle with sometimes, you know. Sometimes my pieces are too tight, too detailed, and you know, yeah. So yeah, I missed some comments here. Yeah, Coral says nobody's perfect. Imperfection makes our art more interesting. Yeah, exactly. You know, the cool thing about what I've learned about painting more, um, to be ironically painting more realistically and more loosely, it actually looks more natural sometimes. Like when you do these kinds of greenery down here, these strokes, these kind of accidentals, and these splatters. You know, when you look at it, it gives it more a natural look. Even though the way you paint it, I'm not sitting there painting leaves and everything. I'm getting these accidentals that happen, these imperfections, and that's what creates the natural look to it, you know. Pamela Brooks says, I always strive to do better, but at the same time, realize there will always be things to learn and improve upon. That's what I love about art. It's a never ending journey. I agree. I totally agree. That's the thing. Like, it's a never ending journey. And it's not that we're not striving for this perfection in our art, right? I mean, for me, that's not why I'm doing it. I'm not like sitting there striving to be perfect and and trying to go for perfection. It's it's more of like a process of evolution, right? Like we want our art to look really good or really natural or really realistic or have certain kind of colors or just a certain vibe to it, give off certain emotions, a certain feeling. And but the cool thing about our art is that there's always this evolution, and that's what I was showing earlier with my pen and ink drawings. How when I started out, it was kind of bad. You know, they weren't really good. I was using these gray markers and stuff, and this gray ink, and I didn't really like it. Didn't really like the effect. I was too detailed and trying to put too much light and too much shadow. Like, just didn't have this strong impact. And it took me quite a few drawings to get there. And sometimes I still feel like I'm not there yet. You know, soon I'll be adding in some like watercolor backgrounds and see if that kind of gives more of an interesting impact and maybe they'll sell more, you know? So, maybe start adding more symbolism or meaning into the backgrounds or more interesting shapes and things happening, you know? So it's all a learning process. It's all a journey, it's all an evolution. It's really cool. Well, thank you for that question, Real Era. I don't know if you're still here, but thank you for that question. I hope it answered hope it answered your question in some way. Have a good one, Nathan. Thanks for tuning in. So Pamela Brooks says, the best thing I've done for myself is set goals for myself, realizing I may not achieve completely, but I will improve. Exactly. Goals are huge, you know. I always have goals set, you know. Problem is, I have so many goals I can't even keep up with all of them. That's the problem. I set so many goals for myself that it's overwhelming, and that's something I'm working on. I was working on this weekend and really figuring out some kind of business plan. Like, all right, if I did work full time every day on just my art stuff, what would I be doing every day? Like, what kind of things would I be doing? Like, all right, I'll do a live stream every single day. Um, editing and filming more YouTube videos so I can do like 3 to 4 YouTube videos every week, you know, try to give more value. Um, you know, have like an interesting maybe 1 or 2 sessions every week, like for 1 hour, have like a group, like some kind of Zoom call group where I answer questions or do demonstrations for 1 hour. Um, that would be like a paid group that people could pay and they would monthly, and every week I would do like 2 of these sessions for 1 hour at night, for 2 days a week. There's always like ideas I could do. It's just I don't have the time to do all of them right now. And it's annoying, and I feel like when can I take that leap? When should I do that? You know? But anyway, talking about myself too much here, guys. So Patio asks, what's your day job? I am a graphic designer, but I kind of do like a little bit of everything. I do like sometimes I do videography, editing videos, photography, editing photos. I make flyers. I do web design. I do web hosting, domain management, business cards, flyers, brochures, anything you can design, backdrops for trade shows and uh, logo decals and car wraps and like anything you can design, I do it. And yeah, so my job is a little bit of everything. Do you still paint in oils? J. Marie asks. I do not. I haven't painted with oils since 2019, I think. I've given up oils. Given up oils. What is the easiest way to earn with art? I don't know. I wish I'd figure that out. Wish I could figure that out. I think right now it's, getting a following on a YouTube channel, um, and just documenting your journey as an artist. That's kind of what I've been doing the last few years. And if you get a lot of views on your videos, you can make a living from this thing. That's the thing, man. I have so many subscribers. I've over 500,000 subscribers. I should be able to make a living from just the YouTube right now. It's just my videos don't get views. I don't know what people want to see videos of. It's like I I don't know. Like, do people just want me to make portrait videos, just portrait tutorial videos? I can just do that. I'll just become a portrait artist. It's like I don't know what is gonna get all these 500,000 people to watch some of my videos. I mean, I upload a video yesterday, it gets 1,000 views. I mean, in one day, it's like, man, what's going on? You know, something's wrong here. I don't have a good engagement. It's like people watch my viral video and then they just subscribe and they don't watch anything else. It's annoying. So I'm still like trying to build up my YouTube engagement. Have you tried Nicholson's Peerless transparent watercolors? I have not. Never even heard of that. Is your day job related to art? It's graphic design, so kind of related to art, but it just I'm just done with it, man. I'm just done. I've been doing it for 8 years now, 8 or 9 years, and uh I'm just sick of doing it. I really want to just do this art stuff. Mary asks, can you get paint supply companies to sponsor you if you feature their products, brushes, paint? Possibly. I could reach out to M. Graham, see if they sponsor some videos and stuff. Right now I have Skillshare sponsoring me for 1 year, which is really good, but it helps a little bit, but it's still not there. If I was getting more views on my videos, I would be there. I would really be there. Um, but yeah, luckily Skillshare is very kind and sponsoring me, one video a month for like a year right now. So really, really grateful for that. Really grateful for that. Pamela Brooks says, yeah, you have to be realistic in your goal setting and not overwhelm yourself. Yeah. Make a list of all goals, but only pick a few to achieve monthly, yearly, or whatever time frame. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And that's something I'm working on right now to figure out like what's the next thing to put all my energy into right now that's going to get me to the next phase. That next thing, what is it? Mary says, I know a lot of people I watch on YouTube have sponsored videos where suppliers send them materials. Oh, I lost a lot of comments here. Okay, and they use them specifically in their videos and critique them too. Yeah, I mean, I do that too. A lot of times those sponsored videos, the you don't get paid for them. If they send you materials, they just send you free materials. It's like I don't want just free materials. Like I got enough materials and stuff. But Skillshare luckily is sponsoring my videos and I get compensated for that luckily. So try Gumroad and the like, where you can upload your paintings and they can print it on stickers or cups and the like. They can take a commission, but it could be an extra source of income. Yeah, it's true. That's true. That's the thing. Like, I don't know if my paintings are really something that people would want on anything. I don't know. Like, is somebody going to want a landscape on a cup or something? It doesn't really seem like, I don't know. um, Sometimes I look at my old paintings and think to myself, what is this? But then I remember how beautiful they looked then and how much I've spent time on these. Yeah, good point. Somebody says NFT. Yeah, I haven't gotten into that realm yet. I don't know. Uh, Patio says they want to see drawing tutorials. Market to beginners. That's what I did. My last two videos. The video I just uploaded was a very beginner drawing tutorial. It was literally just drawing this roll of tape. Which seems very easy, very stupid. Like, why would you want to draw this? But when you draw it at different angles and stuff, it's actually very challenging. And that's what I did. Maybe that's too simple. Maybe people want to see more interesting things, portraits and stuff. So I don't know. You guys tell me, like, what kind of videos would you like to see if I did tutorials? What do you guys want to see? What are your interests? Maybe people forget my channel's existence. Yeah, I mean that's why I need to upload more videos, huh? That's what I'm trying to think. That's what I'm trying to do. How do you advertise yourself with logo designs? I'm not really sure what that means. I think there's a. I'm not sure what you mean. Hello from Turkey. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. But okay, Koitasami says, but it is working for a lot of people. It's something to look into. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I agree. I mean, I should just put everything out there I can, right? Put my paintings or drawings of animals and stuff on stuff that people can physically have. That's cheaper than the drawing itself, I guess. Yeah, true, true. Am I in the USA right now? Yes, I'm in California. Cubs win asks, what about your book? My book got canceled. Yeah, my book got canceled. So back in like November, they told me my book got canceled. Um, after I finished writing the whole thing. Luckily, they paid me for it, so I got compensated. I got paid for my time and everything. I got the compensation that they promised. I just the book deal got canceled. So it was based on research and the market right now. They realize that this kind of book just isn't going to work out. So they don't want to put something that's out that's going to fail. So fair enough. So yeah, my book deal got canceled. Um, Whose paintings are awesome, Mary? Who are you talking about? She says, OMG, your painting are awesome. Who are you talking about? Curious. Whose paintings are awesome? Do you typically sell prints or just the original pieces? I don't sell any prints. My pieces are pretty cheap. I sell them for 65 bucks right now. I mean, most it's funny if you're going to get a print somewhere, like actual physical prints, like usually a print is more than that. So Sergi says, yeah, this speaks to me on a personal level. I mostly do portraits of people I find either a model of beauty or an image of perfection, but who would want a coffee cup with a random dude on it? Yeah, I mean, exactly. Yeah. Schaefer, do you draw imaginary places? No, not really. More on color theory. Okay. Possibly could do more on color theory. Mary H says, do you connect with other YouTubers who do make a living at it? No, I don't. I do not. I'm not really connected with any other YouTubers. Mm. Mm. Oh, I see what you're saying, Mary. Thanks for that. Yeah, I mean, maybe I could try that. Put like some kind of do like some physical items and stuff. Maybe that's more useful to somebody than an actual painting. It's something I was thinking about recently. Just trying to come up with something like what could it be? You know. Jay Marie asks, "Can you explain why you gave up oils?" Yeah, I can. Um, I gave up oils because primarily I wanted to do plein air painting. And what I found for plein air and travel, I wanted to travel and do more plein air. And what I found for doing plein air is I found watercolor is so much easier to do, to carry around, to travel with, um, and to paint with than oil painting. So, uh, and what I also, and then once I got into that, I started doing regular watercolors, like just sitting at my desk. And what I realized is the materials and everything is so much cheaper with watercolors. And it's so much easier to start a watercolor painting because all the paint is right here. I don't have to like squeeze out new paint every time. I don't have to like clean all the brushes with solvent and all this stuff and buy solvent and buy all these materials and buy canvas and have all this stuff laying around. Um, I realized I could just buy sheets of paper, watercolor paper. It's much thinner, it's smaller, more compact, it's more minimalist. I'm kind of a minimalist at heart. I don't really like owning a lot of things. I don't like having a lot of things. I like everything to be very simple, and watercolor does that for me. It fits my personality more. Um, it's just quicker, easier, better for me, and that's that's really it, that's really what it came down to for my lifestyle, for the life that I want to create moving forward. It just made sense that it made sense that um that I do watercolors instead of oil painting. So, and I just, I still have a bunch of big giant oil paintings all framed in my closet. And I think a few months ago, I threw like a big stack of them away. I had these big paintings that were framed and everything, and I just threw them in the dumpster because it's just like, yeah, these are the crappier ones, and I'm not gonna be able to sell these, so I just got rid of them, and I don't know what to do with all the other ones I got in there. I got big paintings, and yeah, it's just depressing, man. I just don't even want to think about it. That's why I just have them off in my closet. I just don't even think about it, but I know they're always there, and it's just annoying. It's just really annoying. Darko asked to start like a logo designer specifically. How how do people okay, to start like a logo designer specifically, how do people search about you and be popular enough to start earn beginner money? I don't know really because I have a job as a graphic designer. I don't really do like freelance like that, so I'm not really sure how you become popular as a logo designer. I mean, I guess you just start like social media and start showcasing all your different logo designs and different design work that you do and reach out to companies and stuff like that. I'm not really sure to be honest. We'll see with my channel moving forward. I don't know if you guys have. So Lane says, genuinely, if you want to boost your channel, paint some watercolor, Star Wars or Marvel characters. Pop culture stuff will sell. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I don't know if you guys have noticed on my channel, and I haven't completely done it yet, but I'm converting, and maybe this is part of the problem too. Maybe I need to give it more time this year and maybe next year. I'm only going to be doing drawing videos. I'm only uploading drawing videos. Now, I do the watercolor live streams, of course, because those sell. Those paintings end up selling. Like the watercolor I just did 2 days ago sold before I even finished the painting. I was still painting it live and somebody bought it. Um, but what I notice is my drawing videos get more traction than the watercolor videos. So, and my most popular videos are drawing videos. So all my plein air videos I had in the past on my channel, all the other painting videos, a lot of the other painting videos, I've now made them private on my channel. The bulk of my channel right now is only drawing videos now. So moving forward this year, I'm only doing drawing videos from now on because that's my focus of this channel. I've made a separate watercolor channel called Watercolor Sketching. I just haven't done any work on it. I haven't put any effort or any kind of videos up there at all. I haven't made anything on it. And the funny thing is, it already has like almost 500 subscribers, and I have no videos on there. So there's people that want to see the watercolor stuff, and I might start doing more on that channel. You know, take from the live streams and make a tutorial video from the live stream videos from the watercolors and put that on my watercolor channel. And who knows, that might become my better channel that I focus on that makes more money, because I'll have more of I'll be able to start fresh and have the main focus just be watercolor from the very beginning. So I'll have a more loyal following, that actually watches the videos. That's the problem with this channel, is that over the years, I started out with acrylic for many, many years, and then I switched to oil painting. And then I started doing oil painting, and then I switched to watercolor. And then from the very beginning, my drawing videos went viral that I'd done a little bit of drawing throughout the years on the channel. They went viral somehow. And now my main video has like 9 million views. So everyone finds my channel from that drawing video. So all the other videos have never really been the main focus on my channel. But now I've gotten all these subscribers from acrylic painters and then oil painters and then watercolorists. And now I've just got rid of all that stuff. So I think it's just I'm lacking patience, and I've been lacking focus, and what I'm trying to do is focus my channel now. It started out big as a funnel, and I'm trying to focus it down to drawing, and it's going to have this narrower focus that hopefully in the future, if I keep doing just drawing videos, that I'm going to attract people that want to learn drawing. So that's the idea anyway. Okay, let me catch up on the chat here. Okay, so I'll tell everybody the secret here. Okay, Cubs Win has a good point. She says, because of living expenses, leave California, but that's just a thought. Seems minimal, doesn't fit California. Yeah, I agree. It's something I've been thinking about for a little while now. And I was thinking of like going to New Mexico or somewhere cheaper, somewhere that's still nice, but it's much cheaper. I was looking at the rent there, and the rent it's like the lowest rent in the country in New Mexico. So that's an option. It's definitely an option. Yeah, California is ridiculous. I mean, if you guys knew my rent here for this apartment, for the 1-bedroom apartment, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, ridiculous. The same apartment somewhere else is like literally half the price. No difference, It's just the location of the state. The only thing tying me to California is my job. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about myself this whole time, but if you guys have any other questions, just let me know. So, oh yeah, so Sergio says, is that why I cannot find any of your past streams? Yes, because what I'm doing is I'm only leaving the streams up for like 1 to 2 weeks, and then I'm gonna unlist them. So here's the secret for the live streams though. Everybody can still go find and watch the live streams. if you go if you go to my channel and you click on the playlist tab, so go to youtube.com/SchaeferArt, just go to my channel and go to the playlist tab. If you find the live stream, live art streams playlist, you can watch all the live streams there. They're just not available on my channel. So they're unlisted, but anyone with the link can still watch them. So if you ever want to watch, if anyone ever wants to see any of the past live streams, just go to that playlist and you can watch all of them there. So that's kind of the little trick there. But yeah, I just don't want to have them, the live streams are just, I want to make them more special, for you guys that join them. I only want to leave them up for a few, not very long. But they're there to watch if anybody wants to find them still. So Mary says, yeah, Idaho could be nice too, but I don't like cold winters. That's the problem. So Mary says, can't you do your job remotely? Yeah, I could, but my job, they're not going to want to let me do. They don't even want to let me do it from home right now. They want me to start coming into the office again. And the funny thing is, like I don't even want to talk about it. But yeah, let's not go there. But yeah, I could do my job remotely. Exactly. It's just we're not efficient as a company, basically. Kuwait Asami says it's about $2,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment here in Kuwait. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. Imagine about $300 less, and that's this 1-bedroom apartment that I have right now. So there you go. What is better to take up as a beginner, digital or traditional? I don't think either one's better or worse. I think um, I think I think it's more important is what are you interested in? I think that's the important thing, right? What are you interested in? Are you interested in digital or are you interested in traditional? Whatever you have more interested in, I would say uh, do that thing, you know? I would definitely say do that. Traditional or digital is a little more forgiving. So maybe a little bit easier to work with, possibly. You can edit, undo, and you can have different layers and stuff. But yeah, do what you're interested in. If you want to be a digital artist, tradition. I mean, it's good to learn traditional, of course, but I'd say go where your passion lies. You know what I mean? Go where you want. No worries, Sergio. So he says the reason I asked about the live streams is because due to my time zone, I can mostly rewatch the replays, but not attend the proper live event. Sorry, man. Yeah, no worries. Just go to the playlist. Just find the playlist, and you can watch all the replays there. You can watch all the replays on the playlist. So, and I'll leave them up for like 1 or 2 weeks, so you have time, but to find them on my channel. But if not, just go to the playlist tab and find the art live streams playlist. They're all on there. They're all on there. So don't worry. Have a good one, Lane. Take it easy. What advice do you have for beginners? Don't quit, don't give up, keep going, have fun, enjoy yourself, do what you are interested in. That's my advice. And be patient. Levi Ross says, have you considered utilizing Patreon and possibly offering some type of paid content? I do have a Patreon. I guess I might as well mention it. I do have a Patreon here, so you guys can see. I have PayPal, I have Venmo, I have a Patreon. The problem is I don't currently post anything on my Patreon. So there's nothing kind of luring anyone in. And when I've done it in the past, I've tried it in the past few years ago, and I didn't really get a lot of results from it. You know what I mean? Like it's so much work that the problem is I don't have time to do it. I don't have time to focus on YouTube content and secondary, paid content. I just don't have time to do it. And I also have, right now, I have, what is it? Let me see. Do I have a thing for that? I guess I don't. Well, I have a drawing course on my website right now, schaeferfineart.com. You guys check that out, schaeferfineart.com. I got paintings and drawings for sale. I also have a drawing course on there called the Intuitive Drawing Course. It's basically takes you from very, very beginner, you don't even know how to draw, and it's like an 8-week guided course that's all recorded. You can go at your own pace, and yeah, it just goes through form and structure and perspective, and each week has like anywhere from 4 to 8 videos, 4 to 10 videos, and yeah, it's interesting. Go check it out. Just click the lessons tab on my website, and you have the intuitive drawing course. So yeah, I have stuff for sale. I haven't promoted it, and I just, you know, mm, Texas is good. Yeah, Texas or New Mexico. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I'm a little more conservative too with the way that I am. So kind of fits. Um, Glad to hear, Coral. Glad you learned some things. 5 a.m., man. I hope you get some sleep. Hope you get some rest. You can always watch the replays. Like I said, just find the playlist on my channel. You can watch the replays. What's your opinion, feelings on the Daniel Smith Primatech pigment debacle? I have not heard of that. I have no idea, to be honest. I'll have to look into that. I have no idea. There's some dispute about pigment or something? Sounds interesting. How long have you been drawing for? I've been drawing since I was like 4 or 5, since I was a kid. Um, it's kind of when I got into it. And then I got serious, when I was like 12, 13. And then I got really serious once I was in high school and started college. And then that's when I got serious about my drawing and my art. So, by the way, I'm pretty sure you painted a Chambord castle in France. It's a lovely castle. You did an excellent job. I'm sure Castle France lover scooped it up real quick. Yeah, to be honest, I painted that one the other day, and I remember seeing your comment. I couldn't remember who it was before I started the stream. I remember seeing you say that. I couldn't remember the name of the castle, but they actually, if you watch that live stream, they actually asked if it was for sale while I was in the middle of painting it. So I actually sold the painting before it is even finished. So imagine that. It's pretty crazy. So I got lucky on that one. I've never been to Turkey, but I would like to go to Turkey. I would love to go to Istanbul. Um, I would love to go to Istanbul and see the mosques there, the Hagia Sophia and all that. I would love to go there and do some plein air painting and see everything. Turkey seems really awesome. Can't wait. Can't wait to go there for sure. Sergio, okay, he's giving me some info about the Daniel Smith Primatech thing here. Uh, They said basically Daniel Smith overstated the fact that Primatech line is 100% mineral pigment, so artists are paying double for the price for something that should cost less and is not properly labeled. Yikes. That's not very, that's not having a lot of integrity, huh? Yeah, that's not good. They're gonna lose. They're gonna lose a few people on that one, I'm sure. See, that's the thing, man. People don't even like. People care so much about the brand name. Oh, Daniel Smith, Daniel Smith, Daniel Smith. It's like, uh, you know, they didn't even realize the quality of it. I guess, Like to me, I'm not worried about the brand name. I'm worried about the quality of the materials. Like if I find out M Graham paint sucks, then I'm switch. Like if they start changing the formula of paint and it sucks all of a sudden, I'm switching paint. You know what I mean? Like I'm not I'm not I'm not loyal to any kind of brand just because, if they make good stuff and it's affordable and it's good, then I'm down. I'm good. But I'm taking an art history class and I'm curious to know what your favorite art period is and favorite medium. My favorite medium is watercolor. Favorite art period is probably like the impressionistic period, 1870s, 1880s to like 1930. It's kind of probably my most favorite era of art, like impressionistic and then like post-impressionism a little bit. Some of that's kind of cool too. Have you been to Nigeria? I have not. I've never been to Africa. The only places I've been to Canada. I've been all around the US. There's only about, I think, 11 more states in the US I need to go to. Um, I've been to Canada, I've been to England, and I've been to Paris, France. I've been to France, I've been to England, and I've been to Canada. Those are only the places I've ever been, unfortunately. I have many other places I want to go. I wish the world would just open up already. I wish this COVID thing would go away. Can you draw a sketch of a face or teach us, please? There we go, folks. There we go. Portrait. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot of videos about portraits, I think. That's the thing to do. Can you please do the green arrow painting? I have no idea what that means. What's the green arrow? Mary, she says, you're from New Orleans. You'd never consider moving back. It must be 1/8 the cost of California. Uh, I'm actually from Mississippi, southern Mississippi, real close to New Orleans. And Mississippi is actually the cheapest. When I look up, the cheapest place to live in the country is Mississippi. But uh, I do not want to move back there. Just the quality of life is just, uh, just it's not a very epic place to live. You know what I mean? It's just not very, my dad still lives down there and the weather, not that great. The landscape's not that great. I need somewhere inspirational. And New Mexico, I think New Mexico is pretty cool. It seems cool. That's where I'm thinking. Arizona, New Mexico, somewhere like that. Uh, I don't know. Who knows? But who is Daniel Smith? I've never heard of him. It's a brand of watercolor paint, really high quality, supposedly watercolor paint. Mm. Show me the art. What art do you want to see, Cindy? You want to see the critiques from today? Uh, oh, Green Arrow is Marvel or DC character. Oh, okay. I have no idea. I really, to be honest, I cannot stand the superhero movies. Those are, I'm just the amount of like, ever since like the early 2000s when they started making the Spider-Mans and then they remade the Spider-Man and then they remade Spider-Man again, I was like, all right, I'm done, dude. I am done. And they remade the Hulk. They made the Hulk and then they remade the Hulk and then they remade. I was like, I'm done with superhero movies. I am not interested in superhero movies at all. and it's the same story every time. So I am not interested in the superhero stuff at all. Have you ever used chalk or colored pencils on top of watercolor for texture or detail? I have not. Have you ever been to Tennessee? Yes, I've been to Tennessee many times. Many times. Been to Memphis a lot. Live in Pennsylvania, Amish country. Yeah, my mom and family over there, they live in Delaware, and there's Amish. I visited them in March, and we went and saw, drove around in the country. There's a lot of Amish people out there. Big Amish community. It's pretty cool. Thank you for this live stream. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get off here soon, guys. But any last minute questions, just let me know real quick. I'm gonna get off here. I got to eat some lunch and stuff, and I got to get to work. I got some videos to make and some stuff to do. Um, have a good one, Coral. I'm about to get off here too. Uh, what about New Orleans? Artsy there? Yeah, I'm not. I'm just not. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in New Orleans, to be honest. Um, one of my best friends from middle school and high school lives down there, but I'm just not interested in New Orleans. The hurricanes and stuff. I lost my house in Hurricane Katrina, so I am not interested in being in the path of any more hurricanes. I am not interested. you know. So, but you're true. You're right though. There's artsy place in New Mexico too, or Arizona. I think like Sedona or Santa Fe or something. It's a really artsy place as well. So there's other places out there like that. That I'd probably research and think about. Hari says, I really love your sketches. Love you, man. God bless you. Thank you, man. Back at you. Appreciate it. Or woman. Don't know if you're a man or woman. I apologize. I just say man out of endearment. But thank you, human being. I appreciate you so much. Wow, at the bottom of Africa, it's midnight there. Wow, that's crazy. Namibia? Namibia? That's really cool. It's about 2 p.m. here. 2 p.m. here in California on Sunday. Uh, Sounds good, Sergio. Looking forward to the next piece, next critique. Yeah, I live in earthquake land. It's true. Not really though. There's not really earthquakes where I'm at. Um, Earthquakes are more in the Bay Area, like San Francisco. I'm like 2 hours away from that, hour away, so I don't really feel any earthquakes here. But yeah, it's true. Definitely true. I live in drought land. It's definitely drought though. Yeah, I think Sedona is expensive, so I'm thinking somewhere in New Mexico. Whatever. I'm not really gonna go out anyway. I'm just gonna live in my apartment or whatever. Yeah, man, it's cool. We have people from all over the world watching, man. It's really cool. Really cool, man. Thank you, sir. I will have a nice lunch. I'm definitely going to stay healthy. I think. Hope you do the same. I'm going to have some dates. I'm going to eat some dates and some fruit. And yeah. Glad to hear. Hilm Lolo. Hope everything's going well in Southern California. Um, yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in, man. And thanks everybody for liking the video. Real quick here, I guess I should say that, be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Greatly appreciated. And like I said, just check out my website, folks, if you haven't. Love to see what you guys think, and check out the support page if that's something you're interested in. And yeah, check out my new drawing video, folks. New drawing video on the channel. Go check it out. Support me. Give it a thumbs up. Give it a like. Watch the whole thing, please. The watch time is very important. So if you just let the whole video play, watch the whole video. That'd really help me out. Um, so, oh, hi, I'm Lolo. Oh, okay. Lolo. All right. Gotcha. Gotcha. That's an I, not an L. Gotcha. Lolo. Yeah. So if you guys could just help me out, man, really appreciate your support on this channel. And it's just going to help me keep going, man. You know, it's just going to help me keep going. And we can do this more often, you know? So the more you guys support me and the more we get this community going, the sooner I can do this thing every day, man. And we can have some fun and enjoy ourselves and share interesting ideas and do some cool things. When will the next live stream be? Maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll schedule one for tomorrow. I have an interesting idea for the next 2 live streams. Have a really interesting idea. We'll see if you guys like it. I'm gonna keep it secret right now. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's different. It's something different. Uh, it's gonna be kind of a challenge. It's gonna be a little bit of a challenge, but it could be cool. It could be pretty interesting. So anyway, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Maybe tomorrow. I'll schedule one today, and maybe tomorrow or the next day. We'll figure it out. Um, so, did you ever make it to where Da Vinci spent the last few years of his life? I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm not sure. Would you recommend art classes and what kind? And what kind if I want to sell art prints? I have no idea. Honestly, I'd recommend just checking out YouTube. There's a lot of good stuff on there for free already. Just check out YouTube. Thank you, Mary. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Lolo. Thank you, Tomater. Thank you, everybody. Everybody that tuned in. Thank you, Koitasami. Have a good one. Have a good evening. Rest up. Take care of yourself. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one, hopefully. I'll try to do more on the weekends so we get different kind of time zones and everything. And yeah, anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in today. Thank you for the support. Love you guys. Peace.